to a special edition of the Philly Guy Speaks here. I'm Joe Quills, as you know, and we are going to do a special edition here of the show here and podcast. As I'm going to get a little out of my norm here, out of my comfort zone here, and we're going to look at the big races on Friday, June 2nd at Penn National Racecourse. Uh, since I've become part of Bleacher Brothers, apparently I've become the horse racing or gambling expert somehow. I just talk a good game, but I thought, okay, let's take advantage of this, and let's look at a couple of different races here and there, and you know, I thought, Penn National is a big day. Let's do a little something different. So we're going to get to that here. We're going to look at races 3 through 8 on Friday, June 2nd. And let me pull up the screen here. And we're all set to go here. Just want to show you guys a little something on what I'm going to be showing to you here. Penn National has an 11 race card um, on Friday, and if you notice, races 3, 4, 5, and 6, they had that green line there. That means that those races are on the turf course, and those are the uh, all the big races for this upcoming week, this upcoming Friday. Um, Penn National, they usually front load their turf races on their cards because of the fact that they do not have lights on their track, on their turf course. So because they don't have the lights on the turf course, they have to push them to earlier in the card. Whereas most other tracks, even if it's a daytime track, they like to tend to have them, especially later in the card, because they're the bigger races in terms of uh, the um, the um, importance of the race, a stakes race, or it may be later in the card because they're big fields and people want to wager on those races where the general public wants to bet because it's a big field, more money spread around. You may get a better price. Look at the Kentucky Derby, for example. But we're going to look at this card here. We're going to look at races 3 through 8 and see if I can give you guys some winners here. So I'll go through the card here. These 6 races, give you my picks. At the end, I'll give you my pick 5, which is starting with race 3, as you can see. And race 5 begins a pick 4. And we'll see if we can pick you some winners here. And if not, it was a fun exercise. So let's begin with race 3. That's the Lyphard Stakes. 9 horses going. And we're going a mile and a 16th on the turf. And I am going to go with, well, first of all, I'm going to go through each horse here. Um, the 2 Cuenca, at least I think that's how it's pronounced, um, had the misfortune, and granted, a lot of these races, most of these races, there's no option. She had to run on dirt anyway, but 5 of the last 6 races ran in the slop, ran fairly well. Speed horse, it appears. Has not run since Pimlico on the turf, but I'm going to take a pass on her. I just think I need to see a race of her on the turf before I can make a decision. Yeah, she can run on this. No, she cannot. I don't think she can, but it's wait and see for me. The 2 My Dixie Last, coming in off of a 5 to 6 month layoff there. Um, did have an okay race in that October race at Laurel. Um, Penn National race in August, finished second. through a disqualification, but hasn't run enough on turf. But I want to, even though she did run a bullet at Delaware Park uh, on the 26th. I think that's last 26th is last Friday. I want to take a wait and see approach with this horse as well. Um, this is not a turf trainer. As you can see the dirt to turf angle over 25 lifetime over the last year or so. So I'm going to take a pass there as well. Hardy Constitution is the 3. Going to be the favorite here. Joe Sharp trains. Irad Ortiz rides. So the fact that it's Irad coming in for the races, you're going to see money being bet on this horse, and rightfully so. Had one race on the turf, an impressive win at Fairgrounds when there were a couple of weeks left in their meet. Did win on dirt. You could see that this horse could take to the turf. I think this horse is going to get beat. If the horse does win, if this horse does win on Friday, good for that horse. Obviously, Pennsylvania bred, since this is a PA bred race, so this probably could take advantage of the Pennsylvania breeders program, or even use this as a stepping stone to bigger and better races around the country, basically, as well. The 4 is Swan Point. Second race off the layoff, got a race in there. Oops, a little too far there. Has run well on the turf at Penn National. Last August on the turf, closed, had the lead, got out finished there in the Fort Indian Town Gap. Did run a good race there. The race before it has run a good race on the turf. In the money all 5 times on the turf. I'm just going to take a pass on her, but she's probably my 4th horse here. So if you're a person that plays superfectas or want to play superfectas, that's probably the 4th horse to throw in there. Number 5 is Maldives Model. And you see the horses, you see the races here. Came up empty last time out at Laurel, but that was back in October. Does like the Penn National turf, 2 for 4 with a second. Won this race last year on soft going. You're going to get a firm turf course on Friday, because it hasn't rained here in Pennsylvania that much in the last couple of weeks. I think we're getting the drought that California had for years. Now, granted, not to the extreme, but I think this horse is versatile. Could be closer to the lead. It could be off the pace. This is a dangerous horse, and this is my pick, the 5 Maldives Model, for the Lyphard Stakes. The 6 is in a spin. Won an optional claimer at Pimlico. Going to be stalking the pace. Has 4 wins on the turf. Only race at Penn National was that August 3rd race. Finished second. Defeated Swan Point for second. I'm going to take a shot on her to finish second here. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins this, but I'm gonna put the 6 up there. I'm going to have her as my second choice here. The 7 Peach Perfect. Has not run on the turf in 13 tries. This is a dangerous combination of Pennington and Service. John Service, we know him from Smarty Jones fame. Frankie Pennington is a top jock at Parks. Um, if this was on the dirt, probably be my choice, but we're on turf today, so I'm going to pass on her. 8 Danzes, 1 for 3 on the turf. Um, broke her maiden last year at Parks after running in this race last year and not even being competitive in the race. Soft turf as well. Um, really hasn't done much lately. Um, and I would say pass on her. The 9, One More Kelly, has been able to win on synthetic surfaces at um, Prescott Downs. Um, did finish well in that turf race there, hung a little bit though, but I want to see what this horse can do on turf. The score here suggests that she'll like the turf, has blinkers on here, probably going to go for the lead. I say uh, need to see a race here, and if she beats me, she beats me. So I'm going to go 5, 6, 3, 4 here. That's Maldi's Model over In a Spin, over Hardy Constitution, over Swan Point in the Lyphard Stakes. Race 4 is the With Anticipation. They're going the same distance, a mile and a 16th. This is an open race, so obviously it's all boys here. Got a full field of 12 here, and this is probably would be later in the card if Penn National didn't have no lights on their turf course. But let's begin with the 1 DJ. Had a nice win on the dirt last time out. I want to see, ran okay at Parks, but that's 3 years ago. Um, I need to see a race on the turf again from this horse. I'm going to pass on DJ here. Midnight Hauler has had a lot of races with By Land and Sea, who's the 8 horse. You Must Chill, which is the 12, I believe. Crisper, the 7. They all seem to meet up with each other at Parks, at Penn, at Laurel, all across the Mid Atlantic. First race back from a layoff. Um, if this is anything like that May 27th race last year, even though that was a dirt race, will run well off of the layoff. And if this horse is, I'm going to make this horse my 4th choice here. I just like the other horses better, but I like Midnight Hauler here, but I like other horses better here, and we'll see if we can get a winner here. The 3 is Valentine Bug. 3rd race back off a layoff. I know AJ Johnson. This is an angle that he loves to play. I just this was a 8 horse race. You know, I don't see anything here for this horse. 0 for 2 on the turf. We're going to pass on her. The 4 Laco Ameno. 2nd race off a layoff. Finished 2nd in this race to By Land and Sea. Not going to get the soft turf. It's going to be firm. I just like other horses better. The 5 Caddy's Uncle did not run well at Parks. You could probably say that Parks is a little bit tougher competition in Penn National, but in terms of the races on Friday, probably be about the same or maybe even a little more, because you get a horse here and there that comes in that is a Pennsylvania bred that's sometimes some connections bring in and see, oh, Pennsylvania bred race. Oh, I have a Pennsylvania bred horse. Let's throw him in there, get the money, take the money and run. But this is a definite pass here. Um, the six trending up. If you're ever playing Penn National, one of the first things I do when I print out the program, and sometimes I don't print out the program. The one thing I look for is Timothy Kreiser, and he's winning 24% of Penn National, 25% overall. It doesn't matter. He always wins 20 to 25%. And he's burned me so many times when I miss, when I don't take that look. Um, Always has his horses ready, but I think this is a bold move that isn't going to work. One of the rare misses by Tim Kreiser. Um, you know, Ran okay in that Lebanon Valley race back in August, but this is a definite pass here. A rare pass on a Kreiser horse at Penn National. CRISPR's the 7, first race off a layoff. Did prove that it can win first race off a layoff there, winning in June at Parks last year. Has run well, proven to be a pretty good turf horse for this class of horses, this PA bred or listed stakes or overnight stakes. You see that is a closer here, and if some speed duel develops, this horse can be a part of it at the end. I'm going to pick this horse for third, and this is a horse I definitely like. Um, 8 by Landon by Sea is a 6-year-old horse. 5 for 13 on the turf. Always runs well. Um, Always well placed. I mean, this horse is a versatile horse. Won last year, August 18th on the dirt at Parks. Won the Alphabet Soup on Pennsylvania Derby Day. Pretty much going to gate the wire. Um, did win this race last year. Little by little, I think this is another horse I really like here. Um, this horse is probably the best turf horse in this race. I'm just trying to beat this horse here. Preciado, doesn't race like he used to, but 13 for 77 this year. Um, Sanchez is a top jock at Parks, and this horse will probably win, but I'm trying to beat him. So I had the 8 finishing second here. Nice Ace. I know I'd probably be saying nice ass instead of nice ace if I was the track announcer because I'm a pervert. um, um, Really hasn't shown much in these races, but you're running at Keeneland, so you're running against tougher. You ran at Aqueduct. This is when the top connections, the top trainers are still in New York before they go down to Florida for Gulfstream season for the winter. Um, that April 7th race, that's right at the end of the winter meet or beginning of their spring meet, whatever they call it. And, you know, and then went to Prescott Downs, had a few wins there. Probably going to be on the lead, so I'm going to pass on Nice Ace, and whoever came up with that name, uh, thanks a lot because just the way that I am. The 10, he's a mess. Yep, I am a mess. Um, Ran well at Prescott Downs last year, a couple of wins there. Mahoning Valley won there as well on the dirt. Mahoning Valley doesn't have a turf course. That was at the beginning of their meet. I need to see more out of this horse on the turf. First time on turf. Um, I just don't. I don't think this horse has a chance here with some of the horses that I've highlighted that I like, the 2, 7, and 8, and I'm gonna like the 12 here as well. But the 11 Robbie's Ransom ran okay, but this is a sprint horse, and I don't think this horse is going to get the mile. Um, did win a mile and 70 Prescott Downs, but that's a synthetic surface. I'm going to pass on him. And number 12, which is my pick in this race, You Must Chill. Now, granted, it has to get better positioning from the gate because he is all the way on the outside. Did win on the did finish very a great second on the rail. Was on the wrong lead here, and what they mean by that is when you're going down the stretch, you want to take your final step with your right leg in terms of horse racing. This horse was on the left as if it was making turns because usually the horses, when they're going around turns, they lead with their left, but on a straight they lead with their right. And the chart caller for this race caught that, and this horse um, does things properly. I think this horse wins. Um, Third race off of the layoff. This is AJ's probably his favorite angle here. Um, Always has run well in the turf at Penn. Ran well at Parks last September before going on its break. Uh, you can toss that Laurel race because that was a race that was washed off the turf. Then ran a good race there last time out at Pimlico. Needed a race on the turf to prep for this. Jamie Ness always wins at a high percentage. Only reason why that win percentage is under 20% in Penn National, as you can see, there's only 12 races so far. Doesn't usually send a lot of horses to Penn National, but then again, usually Penn National doesn't run many races. Has won 22% this year. I think the 12 wins this race here. Does close for the win on the outside. So I'm going 12, 8, 7, 2 in the with anticipation. Race 5 is the Penn Oaks, and it's the female equivalent of this race, of the Penn Mile. Just a little less money in the kitty for the horses and owners, and hopefully this gets a grading in the next year or two. And one thing I'll point out, I'll point out a couple of different things in this race, and this is a field of 9. Number 1, Violet Gibson. This is a horse that trains down in Florida, and if this horse runs, I think this is my choice for this race. The only question is, what is Pennsylvania going to do with Saffie Joseph? Now, one thing I always tell you is Saffie Joseph usually doesn't necessarily doesn't win that often outside of South Florida. He had a couple horses break down at Churchill Downs. And if you were watching my stream Tuesday night on No Filter for the Philly Guy Speaks, or you get the audio version of the podcast, I felt that Churchill Downs had to protect their product, try to stem the tide of the horses breaking down, having to be put down. You have 2 in a very short period like that, especially when it's Kentucky Derby week and all eyes are on Churchill Downs. Churchill Downs did the right thing in suspending Joseph just to play it safe. Now, what Pennsylvania does, I don't know, but don't be surprised if this horse is scratched. But don't be surprised if this horse runs and wins. If this horse does run in this race, I think she wins. She's my choice here. There's something about Florida horses coming north. Being in the humidity of Florida, it's something nasal with the um, being able to breathe, and the also the weather for Friday will probably be Florida like, and that'll be used to it. And that was an angle I gave in last year's Preakness, the 2022 Preakness. So, but in terms of this is my choice here uh, in the Penn Oaks. Hide Right Away. Thank God I'm not a. Thank God I'm not the track announcer. One thing that's worth noting is you'll know if this horse is running Friday at Penn or running at Churchill, because this filly is cross-entered in the sixth race at Churchill. Um, Speed horse, but does not have any turf experience. Does have some turf on the dam side. Even if this horse runs, it's first off of a maiden win. Maybe they're just getting the win on dirt and then going to turf. I don't know what the story is with this horse, but I think this horse may be scratched at Penn. But if she isn't, it's a pass for me. The three Mally Moo um, has running graded stakes company at Gulfstream. Really hasn't done much, and this is in the heart of their toughest season. February 4th, the uh, whatever name that is, and March 4th, that's the Here Comes the Bride Stakes. Really didn't do much. Had trouble last time out at Keeneland. Was bumped around. Checked at the 5/16 pole. It appears. Um, if that horse has a clean run, could steal this race. But I had this horse finishing fourth on Friday. Fourth, Majestic Creed. Um, I need to see this horse on the turf. First time turf. Um, did win two back at Parks by 15 and a quarter on the dirt. Ran third. Um, did stumble at the start and was bumped around, but I need to see a race on the turf for Majestic Creed before I tell you to throw money in there. Princess Bettina is the 5, and this horse is going to take money. You see these essays here. That's Santa Anita. Went from Peter Urton to Todd Pletcher. Peter Urton's a pretty good trainer in California, but this may be a little lower than what you would think, because Baffert wins everything out there, or so it seems. Uh, goes from uh, goes from Urton to Pletcher. Pletcher, one of the top trainers in the world. Flavian Pratt rides. I'm trying to beat this horse. Um, this horse is a versatile horse. Did win on the front end in the China Doll. The Lady Shamrock came from off the pace there. Did have trouble there. Was boxed in, bumped around. Was 4 wide. This is probably the best horse in the field. I'm just trying to beat her. The 6 is Metaphysical. Was in that same race with which one was it? With the same race with Mally Moo. Actually ran better than her, but the Sanibel Island at Gulfstream, that's at the end of their championship meet, and finished second there. I don't know if she's quick enough, but wouldn't surprise me if she wins. Did finish fourth at the at Churchill Downs. That was on Kentucky Derby week. Personally, I'm going to pass on her. The 7, Miss New York. hasn't really done much this year. Well, let me take that back. Did win there on the dirt at Tampa Bay. Uh, was trying to get some Kentucky Oaks points in the Bourbonette Oaks there. Finished fourth. Went to Pimlico. Didn't run that great there. Probably overmatched. But I'm going to pass on her as well. If this is a race that was rained off the turf, it has curling in its pedigree. And I love the curling horses on a sloppy track, but this is a turf race, and I'm going to take a pass on her. Selenaya, the 8, interesting horse here, did win first race off a layoff at Horseshoe Indianapolis. I want to call it Indiana Grand still, but when I see IND, I'm still thinking that they thankfully kept the same abbreviation. Um, has won 2 in a row. Won at the Meadowlands at that all turf meet in September. Came back, won well. Obviously, looks like a horse that could close. I'm going to let this horse beat me. I wouldn't be surprised if this wins at a nice price. And then 9, Royalty Interest, a French bred horse, bred for the turf like you wouldn't believe. Did have a final prep for this race on the Belmont turf. And I would not be surprised if this horse wins. Now, granted, it's 5-2. Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz. Irad Ortiz, obviously, big money races. He's going to be the guy that travels to a place like Penn National for races like this. I just think he gets out kicked at the end by Violet Gibson. I'm going to go 1953 in the Penn Oaks, race 5 at Penn National. And then the main event, which is actually smack dab in the middle of the card. That's the Penn Mile. And once again, all these turf races are clumped together because they don't have lights on the turf course. You would figure with Penn National Gaming making all kinds of money, and also the partnership they have with Barstool, you would figure, hey, why don't we put lights on the turf course? We could maybe float this race to maybe the 9th race and have it under the lights. No, they haven't done anything with that. But anyways, we have 8 horses here. Some interesting horses here as well. The one is Mo Visitor. Huge odds in the Transylvania, didn't do much. Ran a little bit better in that allowance race. Steps back up, gets blinkers on. I don't think this horse has a shot. Major Dude is the 2. This horse is going to take all kinds of money here. Irad Ortiz, Todd Pletcher. You know that this is going to be a horse that's going to be reckoned with. Has run very well in the turf, except for that juvenile turf race last year at the Breeders' Cup. It seems to be a couple of lengths off of the pace, and then makes that move at the end. Won't be surprised if Major Dude wins, but I'm trying to beat this horse, as you know. I mean, I could just say, oh, take the favorite here, take the favorite there, and be done with it. I'm trying to beat the favorites, and hey, if we make money, that's great. But this horse closed for 3rd, was outfinished at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Derby Day. Tried to get into the Kentucky Derby, ran in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, and yes, that's spelled right, Steaks. It's a play on words. Finished second to Two Phils. So because Two Phils ran so well in the Kentucky Derby, this horse is going to get even more money thrown at him off of that. But I want to try to beat this horse. So I'm not going to pick him to win. I have him finishing third, but don't be surprised if this wins at a short price. They're saying 8 to 5. I think it's going to be 4 to 5, even money, or maybe even lower than that. Three is Fletcher. Um, has not run on the turf. Was scheduled for the turf last October. Was taken off the turf. Uh, sloppy track that day. Um, really hasn't shown much. Didn't do much in the Tessio. Didn't do much in this allowance optional claimer at Parks. Disappointed as a odds-on favorite. I'm waiting to see with this horse. Maybe maybe James Lawrence will find something in this horse, but I don't see it today. Upstate and Back, another horse that has no turf experience, um, has won some races at Penn National in the dirt. Um, this is another horse. I mean, it was going to run on Penn National Day, on Kentucky Derby Day at Penn. Um, I'm wondering, and I don't know when the first race of Penn National went off that day. It might have been an early afternoon card. I don't know, but um, I'm wondering if this was off the turf because of the light situation. I don't know what the what happened there, but either way, I need to see a race on the turf for this horse before I make any decisions. Five is Recruiter. Now, this is a horse that is going to go for the lead. Question is, does that turf form? If it has turf form, this is a dangerous horse. I just don't. I just don't like this. I don't like this horse on the turf. If this was on the dirt, this horse would be the heavy favorite probably. Six, Tuskegee Airman. Um, Finished third at Aqueduct, so probably going to be a mile horse. So you get that. Um, John Service and Frankie Pennington. This is a dangerous Parks combination here. Ran into Gold Fever at Belmont a couple weeks ago. Uh, you know, Probably needed to get a race in. Personally, I'm throwing this horse in for fourth. Um, I mean, usually this is a pass, but because Cash is King, John Service, Frankie Pennington, I can't ignore that trifecta there. And if you were listening to my podcast from Tuesday show, or you watch Tuesday show, even if it's on demand, this was a horse that I mean, that combination of John Service and Cassius King um, did have a nice winner on Tuesday's card with Dancing on My Own. Um, Now, some people say, "Oh, you played that for the name." No, there was something I liked in that program with that horse, and had a bad race. I was like, you know what? Let's take a shot on this. It did win, but the amateur me from 20 years ago would have played Dancing on My Own because of the name and the Phillies run last year. But this horse did win. This horse, Tuskegee Airman, will get a chance at the turf course, and we'll see what happens with that. The seven Behind Enemy Lines. Um, did win the Cutler Bay, went to Churchill for the um, American Turf. Did have a slow start there, so that might have hampered the horse given the way the horse ran the Cutler Bay. If this horse gets closer to the pace, I think has a possibility of even beating the two and winning the race outright. I'm going to take this. I'm going to have this horse finishing second, and I have it finishing second to Candidate. First time gelding. That's what that G means there. So, um, that's an angle for some horses where for some handicappers where it's something with the you know having that done that it takes um, some of that um, some of that high energy out of them. Um, this horse did run well at Florida, at Gulfstream. Actually ran well at Tampa Bay Downs in December too. Um, Arnold Delacour took the horse to Gulfstream for the Dania Beach, won that gate to wire. Stalked a little bit in the Kitten's Joy, um, finished second there, but pretty good looking second there if you ask me. Went to the Transylvania, didn't do much, then got gelded, comes back. This is my horse here, and I'll take Candidate to win this race here at a nice price. And also, those Fairhill works, they're on a synthetic surface, so this horse should be really be ready to run. I'm going 8-7-2-6 in the sixth race, the main event of the evening at Penn National, the Penn Mile Grade 2. And then we have a couple of Pennsylvania bred races here to close out the stream, um, or this video. We have the Danzig Stakes. Um, wish I wasn't brain dead and thinking completely horses, because I could probably name off a Danzig horse. I think Mother is a Danzig horse. Mother. But anyways, I got 7 horses here. My choice is At the Rail with Gordian Knot. And you see here, has won his first 3 races. One at Parks, or maiden special weight. I think that's the Prince Lucky. Won that on Pennsylvania Derby Day. Then won at Prescott Downs at the end of their meet. Came back to Parks. Didn't win, but did have a bad start. Lupe Preciado decided, hey, let's try the turf here. Let's give it a race on the turf. Didn't do much. Okay, we're going to go back to the dirt. Get to run in a PA bred race at Penn National. This is going to be a horse that's dangerous here, and I don't always give favorites, but this is a case where I am here with Gordian Knot going turf to dirt. 2 of these guys got game. Has won 2 in a row. Going to be close to the pace. I just think this horse gets passed in the stretch. Mo Beer, another speed horse. I think this is a horse that will probably be there at the end. I got him finishing second. The 4 Capital Conquest shortens from 7 furlongs at Parks because they don't have a 7 furlong shoot at Penn. It's a 6 furlong shoot. Probably will benefit from that distance reduction, but I'm going to take a pass on him. Shy to Runner, another horse speed type. I'm going to pass on him. Picture This. Got a break after this race. 2 for 10. The trainer over the last year or so, with more than a 6-month break. Pretty good workouts there. I'm going to throw this horse in for 4th, just so that I can have a superfectas in all 6 races for you here. If they have superfecta racing, as long as none of these horses scratch out. So Picture This will be my 4th choice. And I have Keith Sense Hello to finish 3rd here. Ran okay, not great in the Pennsylvania Nursery. Did finish 2nd in the Whistle Pig and the Prince Lucky, other PA bred races at Parks. Did win, actually was running races before its maiden win at Penn. Was running against winners in those races as a 2-year-old. Now, that's more common as a 2-year-old, but when you have more races in your history, and also the fact that you're running. When you run more races like that, it begins to um, less common that a maiden faces winners. But I think that's a good thing. Running in Pennsylvania bred races, did face Cordy Knott in that race at Parks. Um, I just think this horse may not win, but it will hit the board. I have the 7 finishing third, so I got 1376, um, Cordy Knott, Mo Beer, Heath sends hello, and picture this. And the final race I'll look at is the New Start, which is the 7th race equivalent for fillies. Same distance as 6 furlongs. 7 horses once again. Um, the one Tappan Josie um, almost won a race at Aqueduct back in March. Came back to Penn National, did come back and win. Won't be surprised if this horse wins. I'm just trying to beat her. Um, won the Society Hill at Parks in March. This is a horse that's always on the board. I got her finishing second here in this race because I'm trying to beat her. Late Frosted 2, first race off of the layoff. That was a race where the track that day was favored closers there. That's what that C means. The S there means that it's speed favoring. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins, but I put her in as 4th here. I'm just trying to beat her as well. Organized Chaos, the 3, that's my brain in a nutshell. Speed Horse here as well. But she's tended in since she's come back to fade at the finish, so I'm going to pass on her. The horse I'm going with is Hunting Coco. Now, this is a Baffert horse that goes to John Service. I guarantee this wasn't because of being Triple Crown eligible. You look at the last 3. You look at the last 3 races, like Joe. What the heck are you thinking? But you're running in Southern California. You're running at Del Mar, Santa Anita, Del Mar, Santa Anita, and it's going to be a class. It's class relief here, and it's first off a layoff. You get John Service again, and I think that you'll see a totally different horse than these 3 races here. I'm hoping that they see 5 by 11, 5 by 10, 7 by 39.5. Even though you definitely toss that first that Chandelier race because that was going 2 turns, and I don't think this horse is a 2-turn horse. Maybe eventually, who knows? But the way the form is right now, I don't think so. But I think that the class relief helps this horse, and I think Hunting Coco is the winner of this race. Simply Stated, the 5 has improved well off the layoff. Did win a first level allowance there, or I'm sorry, finished second in a first level allowance. My bad, but did finish well. And if that speed duel develops, maybe she steals it at a nice price. I got her finishing 3rd. Warriors Ransom. I'm going to take a look here real quick as I let you look at that for a second. I'm just checking one thing here because I am recording this on May 31st. So just to give you an idea, and that is what race? Because she's cross-centered for the 2nd race today at Parks. Warriors Ransom is entered for the 2nd race at Parks, so that horse will be scratched. Pachelbel, the 7. I needed the break. Probably didn't like the synthetic service. I think it's teed up there. That's a horse worth keeping an eye on, but I'm going to pass on her, even though that's a dangerous combination of Service and Pennington. So I'm going with the other Service horse, Hunting Coco, even though people say Pachelbel is that other horse because it's 8-1 morning line, but I'm going 4152, Hunting Coco, Tappin' Josie, Simply Stated, and Late Frost. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a look at races 3 through 8. Little fun exercise we're doing here, and I'm going to give you the pick fives here. The pick five for races 3 through 7, and the pick four for races 5 through 8. Race 3 at Penn National, going with 3, 5, and 6. 3, 5, 6. Going to go 8 and 12 in the fourth. 8 and 12. 1, 5, and 9 in the fifth race at Penn National. 1, 5, and 9. Sixth race 2, 7, and 8. Once again, 2, 7, and 8 in the sixth. 1 and 3 in the finale of that pick five. 1 and 3. That figures out to be a $54 ticket. I'm not playing it for $54, I'll tell you that, but maybe you have the bankroll to do that, and you can pare it down, you can switch around, whatever you want to do, or you can just ignore this. But either way, that's a look at the Penn pick five on Friday, and then with the pick four, I am going 1, 5, 9 in the fifth, 1, 5, and 9, 2, 7, and 8 in the sixth, 2, 7, 8. That's the Penn Mile. 1 and 3 in the seventh race, 1 and 3, and then the eighth race 1 and 4. Once again, 1 and 4. So the pick four is an $18 ticket, and I'll give all the information to AJ so you can post it on Bleacher Brothers as well. So I do want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch us, and a little fun exercise that we're going to have here. We're going to do these every once in a while, see if I can give you guys a couple of winners. And if I don't, we have fun trying. So thank you all for watching today, and good luck on Friday, and have a great day, everyone.